I'm Sculpt with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new NECA Toys Terminator Kyle Reese figure. Obviously part of the Human Resistance and the first character from the NECA Toys Terminator franchise, that being of the Terminator 1 figures and Terminator 2 figures, that's not actually a Terminator. And more specifically, not Arnold Schwarzenegger or Robert Patrick. We have a brand new character, obviously, with Kyle Reese, portrayed by an absolutely fantastic actor, the one and only Michael Biehn. Now, I picked this up at my local comic shop. It's called Fat Collectibles. And as you can see, I paid $17.99 for it. But I've been really excited about getting a character, obviously, from the Terminator franchise that really, like I said, wasn't one of the Terminators. For the longest time, I've always said that I wish that they would do some other characters, such as Kyle Reese. I would still love a Sarah Connor and even a John Connor character, at least from the Terminator and Terminator 2 movies. And I think that this is a step in the right direction. Hopefully this sells well enough that it kind of warrants possibly looking into those other characters. Now, I know they have probably some problems getting the likenesses and things like that, so here's my fingers being crossed. Hopefully we can get some more. But as you can see, in the year of darkness 2029, the rulers of this planet devised the ultimate plan. They would reshape the past. The plan required something that felt no pity, no pain, no fear, something unstoppable. They created the Terminator. And the Human Resistance sent back Kyle Reese to battle that Terminator. Flip it around here on the back, and you see what's kind of interesting is they have other characters here, such as Kyle Reese, the tanker truck pursuit version of Arnold Schwarzenegger from the first Terminator movie, and it shows the endoskeleton. I don't know if we're getting another endoskeleton, but in this particular wave, it's Kyle Reese, the tanker truck pursuit Arnold version, and a version of the T-1000 that's in its frozen liquid nitrogen state from Terminator 2. So I'm not sure, like I said, if we are getting an endo, maybe we're getting another wave and some other characters. Who knows? But coming up to the top, it says target identified, specs Kyle Reese, the Human Resistance soldier. Sent back through time by his future son, Kyle Reese must protect the life of Sarah Connor from the T-800. Arriving in 1984 Los Angeles, Kyle is unarmed and unaware of what awaits. Upon locating Sarah and saving her from the Terminator's attack at the Tech Noir Club, Kyle confides in Sarah, informing her of the impending doom of humanity and of her role for our survival. Absolutely fantastic. Randy, great job on the development of this. Wonderful looking character. Very cool. I'm so happy to add one to my overall Terminator display. I do hope we get some more, so let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Kyle Reese opened up and out of its packaging, and I gotta be totally honest, this is, looking at it much closer, the sculpt on here is fantastic, the paint on here, wonderful, but I don't really think that the likeness is really all that close to Michael Biehn. I mean, I'm gonna zoom in here, but straightening it out a little bit. Now, this is Michael Biehn. I don't necessarily think that this looks like that. Now, what I basically think he looks like, being a hockey fan that I am, I think he actually kind of looks more like Mike Madonna. I don't know. What do you guys think? I see more Mike Madonna when I look at this sculpt, but that's not to say that the sculpt is bad. I mean, this is an absolutely wonderful looking head sculpt. The hair looks terrific. The face is absolutely awesome. And the detail throughout the rest of the figure is really exquisite. I mean, he's got a fairly soft rubber kind of trench coat. The one thing that does kind of suck is, unlike in the actual movie where it kind of he's got a string that goes over his shoulder and he hides his sawed-off shotgun in there, this is just like glued on the inside there. He has a shirt, but it's only half of a shirt, and I'll show that off more here when I take the gun off. But then the legs, very nicely done, and honestly, I haven't seen the movie in quite a while, and I never really noticed, but I honestly think that he was wearing Nikes in the movie, but again, I don't think they could do that, so they kind of made the shoes look as close as possible without the Nike swoosh, but kind of with the design there that kind of gives that off. This is an absolutely gorgeous looking figure. I just don't necessarily think that, like they'd done previously with their Arnold figures and even their Robert Patrick figures, I don't think that they captured the likeness as greatly as they've done with those previous figures when you're comparing this to all those other Terminator figures. One thing that's really kind of cool is he does come with a couple accessories. The first, obviously, being his sawed-off shotgun. But one of the more interesting ones is he comes with, and this is just a little cardboard piece, so I don't want to bend that too much, obviously, but it's got a picture of Sarah Connor on here. Now, I'm zooming as much as I can without it getting blurry, and as you can see, there's Sarah. It's a representation of the picture that he uses that's given to him by John Connor to help him find Sarah in the past. And that's absolutely cool. Well, it's not, well, he gives her the picture and then we see the picture get burnt and everything. So this is a representation of that picture in the future. But this is what allows Kyle to know what Sarah looks like and be able to track her a little bit better than the actual Terminator is able to, because they didn't know what she looked like. If you remember, they had to go through the phone book, systematically eliminating the different Sarah Connors. Kyle already knew. He just didn't know which human or whatever, which person was going to be the Terminator. So he had to wait for that move to be made in order to start blasting the Terminator in the Tech Noir Club. But the other accessory, like I said, is his sawed-off shotgun, and that just fits in here, and that will dangle here. I mean, you really kind of have to hold it in there. I guess you could kind of sort of tuck it up underneath there, I guess, if you want it, just holding it in by friction. But what I was talking about with this, I mean, this is all soft rubber, but this, you can see he's only wearing like half of a shirt, which is really kind of strange, but it's soft, so it allows for two different joints that you can kind of see. You got a waist joint right here, which allows for rotation there, and then you got a upper ab kind of crunch, so you get a little bit more posability. I dig that, I really do. Speaking of his articulation, talking about that, his head is on the ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion, but it is a little bit more limited back here because of the hair and then the collar on his jacket. You can kind of force it up there because, like I said, this is all very soft, very pliable rubber. His arms here are on the pin and socket, so nice range of motion there. The elbows move forward and back. They also rotate. The wrists here are on little small ball joints, so that you get a nice range of motion with there, allowing you to really kind of position his arms in a way where he can actually hold that gun. Nothing at the hips, nothing at the knees, and then it appears that the ankles only rotate. I don't think they actually move forward and back or anything, which is perfectly fine because it allows him to keep a flat-footed pose on here, which is really kind of cool. But like I said, I guess it serves a purpose. I mean, he can store that up there kind of, and that's really kind of cool. So you have him doing that, just kind of walking around, not doing anything, kind of hanging out in the Tech Noir Club. And out comes the Terminator, and as you can see, you know, in terms of a size, obviously Arnold's going to be a little bit bigger looking of a character. Not much more different, but you can see he is a taller character, just because Arnold Schwarzenegger is taller than Michael Biehn, so I'm assuming that that's kind of an accurate sort of representation. Legs are very much similar in terms of this more kind of back leg, and then a bent knee kind of leg here, so very similar. They're not the same sculpt, they're different sculpts. This is all new. The only thing that might be reused are the hands, but that might even be a stretch because a lot of the hands for these have gloves and stuff, so I really doubt it. But so this guy pulls it out, or he comes up, Tech Noir Club, doesn't know, he finds the Sarah Connor person, he pulls out his sawed-off shotgun, which, as you can see, it's sawed off. And then you just slip this in his hand. I'm trying to recreate the scene. It's just taken forever. So I love all you guys. Thank you for watching my videos. So puts that in there. You kind of bring it around. Hold it like so. It's got a position where it really kind of looks like he's... Here, get that nice and bent. And like I said, you do have to kind of sort of contort it just a little bit to get it to look real, and then boom, and now he's got it like so. So now you can rotate the waist a little bit, get a nice angle look here, and you can get him shooting him. I mean, that's just absolutely awesome. How cool is that, guys? I mean, you got the quintessential good guy from the first movie, you got the quintessential bad guy. With Terminator 2, we had the good guy and the bad guy. So it's fantastic to get the good guy from the first movie. And that's just absolutely cool. I love that. That is super awesome. Now, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of figures that NECA kind of puts out that are basically just reuses. When I get to the liquid nitrogen version of the T-1000, you're going to kind of see that. And I could see where a lot of collectors would probably want to pass on that particular figure. Or even the tanker truck pursuit version of the original Terminator. Several collectors may want to pass on that. Kyle Reese is not a figure that I would absolutely not pass on. Do not pass on this guy. I know that sounded a little bit weird, but seriously, this is an essential character. It's the good guy versus the bad guy, and this looks very cool, especially if you're a fan of Terminator and collecting these NECA figures. Not only that though, I really hope that with NECA releasing this character in this toy form, they're putting it out there that they're willing to do other characters from this franchise, at least the Terminator and Terminator 2 movies. And I really hope that if sales go well enough for this guy, it really gives them enough ground to stand on to go ahead and possibly make a Sarah Connor or a John Connor character in terms of toy form. I think that those two characters would absolutely be the pièce de résistance and the best way to possibly end their take on these iconic characters. So here's hoping, guys. But that's about it, guys. This was my look at the brand new NECA Toys Kyle Reese figure. So thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as upcoming videos all at facebook.com/teambotimus and twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.